Hi, I'm Melinda with beanhoppers.com, and today I'm going to do a review for you for the OXO Barista Brain Automatic Coffee Maker. So generally speaking, you want to know a little bit of the features and functions before you spend $200 on a coffee maker. So I thought that I would give you the ins and outs of this coffee brewer and give you my honest opinion about it. Now overall, my general impression is that it makes great coffee. It's a very simplistic machine and it doesn't have a lot of options, but if that's what you like, then that's really all you need is for something to make fantastic coffee and have it be easy. Now, I'll go over all the items on the brewer, and you can judge for yourself whether you like it, and I'll give you my opinion because that's what I do. Okay, so I'll start with the thermal carafe. The thermal carafe is really nice because it keeps your coffee really hot and it doesn't sit on a warming plate, which I don't like very much because as the coffee sits on a warming plate, it actually continues to brew a little bit and it ends up being bitter after just a few minutes. I can really tell the difference. So I always recommend coffee makers with thermal carafes for better coffee. And also when you get down halfway into your cup and your coffee's getting cold because you're really busy, you can pour a little extra coffee in there to warm it up instead of trying to put it in the microwave or something. It's a much better way to keep your coffee warm. So my first impression on this brewer in general, before I actually get into the craft, is that it's a little plasticky. You know, I spent $200 on the machine and I kind of expected it to be a little more substantial, and I find that the parts are a little lightweight, not really a heavy duty plastic, but they're kind of tinny and it feels kind of cheapy to me. That doesn't mean the coffee maker doesn't work great, and that doesn't mean it's not you know, doesn't make good coffee. I was a little surprised at the quality of the plastics used. The thermal carafe has a nice shape to it, and it has a brew-through lid, which is nice, but the lid itself, you have to kind of screw it off. Like, it's a little cumbersome because you're screwing it off to get it off, and the neck on the thermal carafe is so small that you can't get your hand in it, and you would have to use a scrubby brush, a long handled brush, to get in there and clean it. I would much prefer having something that's a little wider around the neck so I can actually wipe it with my hands and get in all the parts to clean it. But if that's not a big deal to you, then, you know, a lot of thermal carafes are like that, but not all of them. I do have one that I like better. Like I was saying about the lid, so it's a little, you know, you have to kind of turn it just right to get it back on. However, once you get it on there, it does brew through the lid, and it pours really nicely, so it's not splashy or anything like that. Now they have in this lid put a rubber tube. This rubber tube is so that when the coffee goes through the lid into the carafe, that the fresh coffee goes to the bottom and it actually mixes your coffee up, because as your coffee continues to brew, it gets a little weaker and a little weaker, so it gets the weaker stuff into the bottom and mixes it up. However, I don't like things that are permanent tubes personally, because I'm a little picky about cleaning things, obviously. And they don't really give you like a brush or anything to clean it with. I know you can rinse it out, but over time coffee residue will get in there, and I feel like it would change the flavor of the coffee as it gets older. You can descale this machine and it would clean it out, but I always get weird about that too. And I just probably wouldn't use this. That's all. I mean, it still brews through the lid just fine. If you don't like it, you don't have to use it, but it's kind of a cool concept that it mixes the coffee in. So that's a nice concept. I just don't like that you can't clean it very well. Okay, so that's the thermal carafe. It uses a number 4 paper filter, and so it has a cone filter, which is nice. It's got a drip stop on the bottom, so if your coffee's brewing and you can't wait any longer and you want a cup, you can pull it out. However, the water from the reservoir will continue flowing into the filter basket, and it will overflow if you keep the carafe out too long. So pour a little bit and put it back quickly so it doesn't overflow. They give you a few coffee filters with the coffee maker, but the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take these yucky, icky brown paper filters, and you're going to want to throw them in the trash because they're disgusting. And you're going to want to get white paper filters. The coffee tastes better when it's brewed through the white paper filters. I know that they say the brown is supposed to be more, I don't know, earth friendly, I'm not sure, but it tastes like dirt. So get the white ones. Trust me, they're gross. So, yes, I told you I was going to give you my opinion. So the one thing about the cone filter area is I've noticed that like the lid is a little plasticky. There's several, there's 6 holes so that the water goes through over the grounds nice and evenly, and it does come out to where the wet grounds are pretty even. So that's pretty nice. But when I open up the lid, and if I don't have this filter in there, it leaks all over the place. So there's this little rubber stopper thing, or not even a stopper, it's where the water comes through. And it's really steamy in here, of course, because you just make coffee, but it stays like that pretty much all day. And it leaks, drips, not leaks, but drips water all over the place, and it's just a little messy. The water reservoir is really nice and clear and clean looking, and you can see the lines clearly, which is great because you know exactly how much water you're putting into the reservoir, because the coffee maker is going to brew all the water that's in the reservoir, so you don't want to like fill it up and tell it to brew 2 cups because it's going to use all the water in the reservoir. So if you need 2 cups, which is nice because it's like a single serve, you fill it up to 2 cups and 4 cups and whatnot. The reservoir holds up to 45 ounces of water, and they call that a 9-cup coffee brewer because the lines are in 5-ounce increments. So they say that 5 ounces is a cup. So when it says 2 cups, it's actually 10 ounces. So 2 cups is 10 ounces, 4 cups is 20 ounces. And a lots of times in America, we consider 6 ounces to be a cup. So it might throw your math off if you brew per 6 ounces like I do. I generally like to put in 11 grams per 6 ounces of water, 11 grams of coffee per 6 ounces of water. However, they do have their own scoop, which holds about 8 grams. And so if you use 1 scoop per cup, it comes out pretty good. But I always do heaping scoops myself because I do like my coffee. I feel like it brews it, extracts it better. Now the one really nice thing about this is it's called the Barista Brain because it's got a microprocessor chip in it that it maintains a proper, the optimal brewing temperature for extracting your coffee properly. So what that means is it holds the temperature between 196 and 205 for the entire brewing process. And what it does is it takes a little bit of water at a time and puts it over the grounds and lets it sit, which it does allow the coffee to bloom, which is really nice. Allows it to sit for a sec, and then it drains out, and then it always maintains like a water level in the coffee basket. And so then it comes out and then it brews a little bit, takes a little bit more water, and it's like cycles, a little bit more until the brewing cycle's done. And what that does is it's precision. It extracts all the coffee at the hottest temperature, and so it's all extracted really nice and evenly. Now this brewer is pretty simple brewer. You're not going to find a lot of options on this one. I do like options. I like to make my coffee different all the time. I don't use the same coffee maker all the time. I use all kinds of different things because I just whatever mood I'm in, right? But if you like a one-touch coffee maker that makes great coffee, then this could be a good brewer for you. It's a one-button operation. So if you fill it up to anything below up to the 4-cup mark, you put it on 2 to 4 cups. So you're going to brew 2 to 4 cups. If you fill it on up past that, you're going to say 5 to 9 cups and push the button and it's done. You can also set it to brew for the morning the night before, and you kind of have to read the instructions on this because it's not super intuitive to figure out how to set things on it. You have to push the button and hold it and wait for things because it's only one button versus some other coffee makers that have multiple buttons, and it's kind of obvious where you would set the time or set the wake up or whatnot, but you kind of have to find it on this one. And I don't know, I kind of prefer having different buttons, I guess, but it does make it kind of like a sleek design, and it looks good. A couple of things that I'm not sure of. So on this, on the water reservoir too, I was going to mention that it's easy to pour the water in because it's got a nice wide opening versus some coffee makers where you kind of have to figure out how to get the water in this little hole. It's got a nice wide opening. However, it's got this weird tube in the top that is rubber, I'm sorry. It's like a rubbery type of tube. And what it does is as the water is being drawn from the bottom of the reservoir, it goes up this little tube in the middle, which is kind of fun to watch. It's pretty interesting. And this carries the water from the tube over to the coffee. However, I don't know how durable these are going to be in the long run because it's rubber, and if it's going to wear out like a gasket or not. I haven't had this brewer very long, so I wouldn't be able to tell you, and I haven't really read any reviews on it one way or another. But that's one thing that concerns me over time. But it does work, and I'm not sure why it's removable, maybe to clean it. But again, they don't give you any like little brushes or anything to clean it with, which would be really a nice option for this brewer. Let's see, what else? It's not a fast brewer. It's actually slower than some other brewers that I've used. Because of the release, the constant release, slow release of the water, it takes a little extra time. So, but you know, good coffee is worth waiting a couple extra minutes for. And so I'm willing to wait for great coffee. But if you're somebody who just wants to push a button fast as you can and rush out the door, then it's going to frustrate you, bottom line. So just a synopsis is this coffee maker is about $200 on Amazon. I'm going to provide you with the link below. And for me, I feel like it's slightly overpriced just based on my likes and dislikes of this machine and the way it feels for me. I don't think that it has enough options for me, but if you are the type of person that just wants a one button touch operation, then it's probably a great value for you because it makes a great cup of coffee. So if you want great coffee to go into your brewer, stop by beanhoppers.com and pick up a bag of coffee or subscribe to our coffee subscription service, and we would love to hear from you. And please let me know if this video was helpful to you. And if you have any more questions on the brewer, just shoot me an email, contact me at beanhoppers.com, and I hope that was helpful. Have a great day.
Starting.
Wait. Go to sleep.